Hello, everyone. Great to have you with us today. Today, I've got three people with me from the elementary school here in Delano. Paul Ludwig, who is assistant principal, and Lisa Armstrong, one of the social workers, and Wendy Scanlon, who is part of the administrative staff at the elementary school. And we're here today just to talk a little bit about the donation that we've made as a congregation to families at the school district. And you may recall that when we did our capital campaign, we designated 10% of that for outreach in the community. And so we were having this conversation at a mutual ministry meeting last November, I think it was, Paul. And why don't you take it from there?
Yes, as Bruce had said, I serve on the mutual ministry committee there, and at one of our fall ones, November timeframe, I believe, we had just been chatting about different needs as the pandemic was in high effect. We were seeing really high cases at that time, so there was lots going on. We were just talking about many of the different needs that we had going on in the community, and one of the things that I did bring up at that time was just about how in Delano, we don't always see the needs of our students and our families, both at all of our buildings, the elementary school, the intermediate school, the high school. And, we tend to see them out in the community, but we have lots of needs also in our school system for families and kids. And so at that mutual ministry meeting, I started bringing up that we do have a lot of needs. And Bruce had kind of reminded the group there that we did start that capital campaign, and we had designated as a congregation a percentage to go out for outreach. And that kind of got the conversation started. And Bruce had mentioned that there was a church council meeting, I think, coming up pretty immediately after our meeting, that he was going to bring it back to that group to discuss a little bit. And I kind of brought the idea back to school a little bit, that there was a possibility we could have some sort of future agreement or future working relationship between the church and the school with helping out some of our needs. And so that's kind of how things got started.
Yep. Yeah, and so I went to the church council and we talked about it and made the decision to donate at that time $7,500 for food, clothing, shelter, transportation, and later on another $4,000. And we also included then essential mental health needs for kids and their families. So I was hoping that each of you might just be able to share a little bit about families that have been helped and the ways in which the donation has been put to work. Lisa.
I just
yeah.
want to thank the members of the church, just because you don't know, what your donation has done. I worked with Nicole Gorman, who is the intermediate, and Marie Teckham, the other school social worker from the high school. And we reached out to families, everybody in the district, and just said, if you have a need during this COVID time, or if you just have a need. And we got a lot of needs, but a lot of times it was people who said, I've never asked for help. I don't know how to do this. But, it just needs that maybe that they were caring for somebody who had COVID in their family, or they were, needing gas to get to the doctor, or food, a lot of insecurities. They maybe had lost their job due to, whatever reason. And that we put that money into gift cards to help those families to be able to get and do what they needed to do for their families. It was incredible, and maybe Wendy can speak about how many families we helped as well.
I can attest to the number of families. I was amazed at how far we can go to make your contributions go towards our families. It's not just 20 families. We helped hundreds of families. within this year, anywhere between if it was a $25 donation, it could have been up to $100 donation. Lisa, Marie, and Nicole did a great job of recognizing those families that were in need and finding families that, like Lisa had mentioned, that didn't, were just asking for help for the first time, needing that for the first time. I know Lisa knows of families in the past that have needed help, but to find these families that for this year that were needing that extra help was amazing. And to see the gift cards that went out and to be put to good use for, like she said, food, transportation, gas costs rising right now, to get that gift card to a family that can't afford that gas price is, I'm sure, a huge relief off of their shoulders to know that they could get to that doctor appointment or maybe even to a job interview or something at this time that makes a huge difference in their lives. I personally am amazed by how well that those contributions, those 2 donations that you guys did went to help all of these families in the Delano School District.
A lot of times as well too, the families would say to me, you know what, they'd be so grateful. But they'd also say, you know what, when I get back on my feet, I want to help somebody else. You know what? And so that was such a big takeaway. And we did actually have another family who, you know what, they were doing fine, but they saw the article in the paper, and us reaching out through the emails to the parents, just saying, do you need help? And they said, you know what, we'd like to donate too. And so it turns into like a big circle, you know what, that people helping other people, and you know what, that there's good in the world, you know what, and people do have really big hearts and they want to help each other. And I think that kindness is shown through the donations, and then also through, you know what, not even knowing what your donation has done for a family, for a student. I had a student who also said, you know what, we got to go to the store, go grocery shopping. So the things that we take, you know, for granted sometimes, for a elementary student, for an intermediate student, or a high school student, that their family got to do, you know, they don't have to worry about, you know, going to the grocery store or something simple like that. We also use some of the money for mental health needs. There's been a lot of anxiety with COVID and family stress. And so for the children and the students in our schools, we also use some of the donated money for anxiety bags and ways to cope, so kids could have something over the summer and during the school year as well too, to help them. So just a giant thank you for this giant blessing for all of our families that go to Delano schools.
Did want to mention that I have a unique perspective in being that I am both a member of the congregation and a member of the school. So I think I maybe connected the two, but in no way is that as anybody on this meeting is taking any credit for it. All the credit needs to go to the congregation for the donations, as well as the church council for having the vision and the insight to think proactively of how we can help our community. So that thankfulness from the school community is overwhelming. You know, as Lisa said, we've had so many extra contributions or people willing to pay it forward that it's been really fun to see. Along with the article in the paper, I know we got a few people that didn't know what was going on. They were very appreciative just to see and read about what was going on, which I think kept the ball rolling a little bit per se, which meant the second addition to the contribution from the church also helped that many more families out. So we're really thankful for everything that everybody has done. I know Lisa and Wendy and all the social workers have just put in a ton of time, and everybody is super happy to do it. It's fun work to be able, and very rewarding to be able to help people out.
And I want to say thanks to you on behalf of the congregation for being partners with us and for being our hands and feet and making this possible. That you are the ones who are in touch with those families in need. And so it's just a wonderful thing to see that kind of linkage and partnership. And so thanks for all the time and energy and care that you've devoted to this over these past months. And I also want to say that to our folks that You can still contribute either through the church, just designate it towards the school fund, or to the school itself. And the money will go to those families who are most in need. And as I said in the article with the paper, when I was in seminary many years ago, we were married. We had two preschoolers. We were living below the poverty line, and so we were helped out in many ways, unexpected ways, and it's a great blessing. And everyone at that time told us, "Don't pay us back, pay it forward." And so we've tried to do that. And so I would just say the same thing to all the families who've been helped. Is I hope in the days ahead you'll be able to be in a position someday to be able to pay it forward and to help someone else as you have been helped, because I think that's just at the heart of our faith. So once again, thanks to all of you and everyone at the school for making this happen, and I look forward to continuing to be a blessing to others. We have been blessed to be a blessing, and so thank you for being a part of that.
Thank you, Bruce.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. Thank you.